Ayo, Cardinal fans! Welcome to the newest Cardinal Conversation podcast, bringing you all the ins and outs of Otterbein athletics. Now, here is your host for today, Sports Information Director Adam Prescott.
And hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Cardinal Conversation podcast. I am Sports Information Director Adam Prescott, coming to you once again on a sunny Thursday afternoon from the Memorial Stadium press box. Here today in the newest installment of our podcast with a few members of our upstart men's soccer program, head coach Jason Griffiths, 30 years old. Hello. Look at he's all ready to talk already. Look at that. And sophomore midfielder Eric Stucky. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Doing great.
Jason, of course, 30-year-old first-year head coach out of Bracknell, England. Jason, you take over a team with a lot of returning kids. You guys are 12-2 overall this year, a perfect 6-0 in conference play. You're on a 10-match winning streak. Did you expect to see such a turnaround so quickly?
I think at the start of the year we kind of planned out, as everyone probably does, where you can win, where you think you might lose, and some ties in there as well. And we didn't think we'd be 12-2 and 6-0, but we thought we'd be pretty close to that. We didn't think we'd be unbeaten in conference, but the guys have done a great job, and I think we have a game plan going into every game. The guys have executed really well, so it's not a surprise that we're doing so well, just because the guys have adapted and have gave everything they've had. So we're really pleased, obviously, and we want to keep it up now.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask you, you said nothing surprised you. I was going to ask, from your very first practice until now, has there been any pleasant surprise? What has maybe been a little different that you thought maybe from that first week until now?
I think we were still trying to figure out how we wanted to play at the start of the year.
Uh-huh.
We got beat pretty bad at Kenya, and then we lost a bad one at Hiram. And we were still trying to figure out, starting lineups, where guys might fit in, guys off the bench and stuff like that. But since then, I think guys have figured it out pretty quick. And, the mentality of our guys on the team is one that they want to win every game. So, to have that and then adjust to our playing style has helped us out along the road. So it's been a surprise to kind of figure that out pretty quickly at the start of the year, which was good.
Mm-hmm. Sitting to Coach Griffiths' left is sophomore midfielder Eric Stucky out of Brecksville Broadview Heights up near Cleveland. Eric, you're generally the first or second player off the bench this year. You've had a couple starts. 1 goal, 1 assist on the year. Do a lot of other things that don't show up in a box score. Aside from the obvious wins and losses, as a player, as players, I guess on behalf of your teammates, what's been the biggest difference for you this year?
I would say the culture. Right when Jason came in, he was definitely straightforward with changing the culture of not settling for not making the tournament in the last 14 years and being better and holding each other to a higher standard. And I think everybody coming out of spring season and going into the summer really took that to heart, and everybody worked hard. And I think the competition coming into the season is something that really helped us out. Mm-hmm. People batting for positions, and I think that's the winning and losing and practice that he's implemented has really brought our team to the next level. And
yeah, I was going to ask you. Obviously, you come off the bench most games. The fact of playing sports is that not everyone can be a starter. Not everyone can be all conference. Some can't even play. You can only play so many people in a match. In a world where maybe you feel like there's a lot of kids that get frustrated really quickly with not playing, or they want to transfer and move on. How have you felt like you settled into your role of coming off the bench but still being able to play a key role in contributing?
Yeah, I mean, it's
where you I'm sure you could start on a lot of other teams in the conference, but
yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the year, we have a great team, and our midfield has a bunch of talent, and I knew that coming in, that even if I wasn't a starter, I will probably be getting minutes and being an impactful player, and that's what I strive to be. No matter how many minutes I'm getting a game, I'm still there to do my job, whether it be playing defense or making tackles, or just running around and trying to cause some havoc.
Yeah, you've done it pretty well so far.
Taking on the run, I guess.
Yeah, you've done it pretty well so far.
Can I add to that?
You can go ahead.
Yeah, so
there's no rules here. No rules.
Perfect.
No structure.
I think we speak about this a lot on our team, is guys accepting their role on the team, and I think that's something that Stucky's done a really great job of, and Nate Norris too. Nate's a senior. He was our top goal scorer last year, and he's been coming off the bench And just the guys that have been coming off the bench have done a great job. They've had a great attitude. And guys that don't even play, their role, might be just to push guys in practice to make them better. Mm-hmm. And I think everyone's accepted their role. I don't think anyone's complained. No one's down in the dumps at practice. Obviously it helps that you're winning. But I think when everyone accepts their role on the team and knows what their role is, which we outlined for them, then everyone is confident. They want to contribute anywhere they can. So I think as far as Stucky is concerned, I think he's accepted his role. He still plays a lot of minutes off the bench, sometimes more than the starters do, because he just has a huge impact when he comes in.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask you about Nate Norris. You guys had won 8 in a row, a lot of positive momentum, but I feel like the last maybe 7 days was kind of judgment time for you, judgment week. You're playing 2 top 10 opponents, and you're probably going to find a lot about yourselves out. Talk about, I guess, going to Heidelberg, they're ranked 8th in the country. I know you felt it was kind of a sluggish first half, and you were kind of concerned in a few areas. And all of a sudden, Nate Norris goes in and decides to score 3 goals in a 6-minute span. What in the world happened?
Yeah, it was a hot day. We were playing on grass, and the grass was wet. And just the first 20 minutes, we looked heavy-legged. And Noah was working really hard out on the right. But Nate's a better defender than we feel Noah is. And Noah's more attacking, can go forward and go by people. So you kind of wanted to shore things up more defensively. So we put Nate in at right midfield, and Nate, get us through the first half 0-0. Play some defense, get stuck in, do what you do, bring your energy. And then 6 minutes later, he's got 3 goals. Yeah. So
not a bad B strat. Plan B, I guess.
Yeah. And it was the perfect hat trick too. One with his head, one with his left foot, one with his right foot, and they were good goals as well.
Then you guys come back home. I guess Eric will go. I guess for either of you, you're coming back home. That's a big win. Then you got to regroup and play a John Carroll team that's won 3 of the last 4 conference titles. You haven't beaten them since 2004. First, for it's going to be for the outright lead in the conference standings, and you fall behind 1-0. Early in the second half. I guess as players, what's your mindset there?
I know coming off of last year, we did not win a game after trailing by a goal.
Uh-huh.
And this year, both games that we gave up a goal in the first, we've lost.
Uh-huh.
So coming off the game, the big win streak that we had, I think helped us a lot, and believe in ourselves that we can play with these guys. I think first half we definitely did not play how we could have played.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were a little nervous, and we gave them too much respect. And then after they got that goal, and then we got the red card.
Kind of woke you guys up a little bit.
Yeah, the red card kind of set us we need to work. And it happens a lot in soccer how you get a red card and everybody else is working harder than they were before, and you play better. And that's kind of how it was. We scored a goal, and then they got their red card, and we just controlled the game for the rest of that time. And
I was going to say, I feel like you guys are probably learning something new about your group each time out. Jaden scoring even a man down goal. I guess we didn't even mention that. And then the overtime goal. What'd you learn about your guys?
Yeah, I think this group's got a lot of mental toughness and a lot of character. And like I said, the togetherness on the team is huge, and everyone has their role to play. And Gavin hasn't played a lot of minutes for us, but he went in up top in that game and caused a lot of problems for them. Obviously, with his size being, he's a giraffe at 6'6", I think. So, he caused a lot of problems in the air, which was something different for them to think about. I think he really changed the game. The guy that got sent off for them had a late tackle on him, got his second yellow, and that, made it 10v10. I think, like Stucky said, from there we controlled the game, but we brought it in after the final whistle, at the end of regulation before overtime, and kind of said our things to the guys. And then Jaden, he said his own little thing I thought was really inspiring and uplifting. I think the guys really reacted well to that. Being at home, unbeaten at home, the guys didn't want to lose that game. And again, it shows a lot of mental toughness and character that these guys have.
Talk to me about the appropriateness of celebrating goals. I know a golden goal is a little different than maybe a goal during the match, and a goal when you're down is different maybe than an equalizing goal. But that was one of the better celebrations I've seen in a long time. You probably hadn't run that much since your playing days, I bet. But just is that? Obviously that's a situation where the moment just takes you over. But talk about the variations and celebrations, I guess, in soccer goals.
Yeah, I think I pulled my hammy on the way over there. But I told Clint when it was 1-1 and it was 10v10, I thought we were controlling the game. And I just said to him, if we score, the house has come down. And we scored 3 minutes into overtime, and it was just, I didn't even think about it. I just went. I saw the guys running over to the crowd, and I think we all just sprinted over there.
The body just takes over at that point, right?
Yeah, I think it depends on the scoreline, like you said. If you're winning 3 or 4-0, you want to be respectful for the team you're playing against. you know, and if it's winning 1-0, you know, you kind of want to celebrate more because that second goal is huge. Whoever gets it if they get it, they're back in the game. If we get it, we have a little bit of an advantage there in the lead. So, you know, it depends on the score, but an overtime goal is definitely reason to celebrate.
Yeah. Speaking of that celebration, we were posting little clips on social media yesterday, and I want to ask you really quick about your student manager, John Gill, who I'm going to play this clip for you, and I want you to hear him behind the camera, and then we're going to talk about what he means to your team. So.
It says we did it 7 times. We counted.
I think Stucky's right. I think that's 7 times. For a lot of people that don't know him or see him behind the scenes, I know he's quite a character and keeps you guys on your toes. What does that guy mean to your club, Eric?
I mean, I live with the guy.
Oh, you live with him? Even better.
With him. Yeah, and he means so much to the team. He cares so much about every individual player, and he does so much from pumping balls to just talking to us and
keeping different conversations.
Talking soccer and talking about what we can work on and like what results we need and like what standings we're gonna get. So he's always around the team and he loves being part of it, and I'm so glad that he is.
What was it like for you, Jason, coming in? Obviously, I know you're worried about, you know, filling out a roster and whatnot, and who's gonna play where and this and that and winning games. But then you got a guy like this that's a huge part of the program. I'm sure does a lot for you, even though he's not putting on a jersey.
Yeah, I mean, when I first came in the spring, we had our first team meeting, and there's this guy sitting there with a huge ginger beard, tats, you know, and big Dr. Martin boots. I'm like, holy, who's this guy? Is this our centre back here? So, you know, I was kind of nervous. He's like, hey, I'm John, I'm the team manager. So, you know, but he's done a great job for us, like Stucky said. I mean, he does everything he's asked to do. He pumps balls up. He, you know, does the laundry and stuff for us, and he travels with us and films games. He's traveling with the women's team now to film games. He loves soccer, and he loves the guys on the team. The fact he's not great at soccer has him more invested in watching the game and trying to learn the tactical part of it. And, you know, I think he's getting better at that side of things. And, you know, he's sent us a couple scouts sometimes. You know, he watch our opponents. So he's just a great guy to be around. And like I said, he loves the game, he loves the team, and you always want people around a team like that. So it's great.
Yeah, it seems like a kid with good character, really enhances the culture. Eric, you know, I was you know, part of the interview process with Jason, and when he took the job, or when he was applying for the job, and, you know, one of the first things he talked about was they just need a little change in attitude, a little change of culture, you know, a little different behind the scenes. And then he takes over, and, you know, he's doing, you know, some interviews when he gets hired, and he's saying the same thing, you know, a little bit change of culture, a little change in attitude or whatnot. And I think maybe a lot of us are just, okay, yeah, that's great. What does that really mean, or what, you know, whatnot. We can obviously see it in your play. Where do you think that has kind of come from behind the scenes? I mean, that all of us can't see that attitude, that character, because you guys just don't show up and play on game day.
I mean, I think it goes into how much work Jason and Clint do behind the scenes in their office. They put in so much work scouting teams. They watch a bunch of games just to get one page of scouting and training. They have everything planned out. Like, we come out to the field and everything's set up. It's just like the little things that they're doing
kind of inspires you guys to do the same.
Yeah, that it makes us want to work harder for them.
That's Eric Stucky and head coach Jason Griffiths from our men's soccer program. That's going to conclude our first half of the Cardinal Conversation podcast here. We're going to take a quick few-minute break, and we'll be right back with you.
As the official sports medicine provider of Otterbein Athletics, Ohio Health is proud to keep the Cardinals healthy and in the game. Ohio Health is available 24/7 to care for your athletes. Just call 614-566-GAME to schedule a same-day appointment. Ohio Health. Believe in we. From the Sports Information Desk, this is your Cardinal Sports Update. Men's golf opened the week with a 21-stroke win over second-place John Carroll at the Mount Union Invite, led by Tyler Dunphy, who finished second out of 57 golfers after firing rounds of 76 and 74 to lead the Cardinals. Volleyball got back to its winning ways Tuesday night with a swift 3-0 defeat of John Carroll on the road, led by 11 kills from Tate Eppert and 9 from Hadley Sterrett. Andrea Miller dished out a match-best 31 assists. Men's soccer, now ranked 25th nationally, extended its winning streak to 10 straight Tuesday night with a 2-1 victory in overtime over 9th-ranked John Carroll. The Cards fell behind 1-0 in the second half before Jaden Lunger headed in the game-tying goal in the 72nd minute, before Zach Lewis turned around after assisting Lunger, heading in the game-winning winning goal in the 3rd minute of overtime. Women's soccer also was victorious at John Carroll on Wednesday night as Katie Exline converted a penalty kick for the game's first goal in the 33rd minute, before JCU tied the game 3 minutes later. After the Blue Streaks went ahead 2-1 in the 55th minute, Annie Mosca tied the score at 2 apiece in the 73rd, before Isabel Sentinel sent in the game winner with less than 5 minutes remaining. Sentinel's goal was the 900th score in program history. Women's cross country, preparing for next week's OAC Championships, going for their 4th straight title, earned its highest ever national ranking Wednesday night, checking in at number 11 in the latest poll. On tap for the weekend, men's soccer hosts Baldwin Wallace on senior night this Friday at 7 p.m. with a win securing the OAC regular season title for the program. Volleyball and women's soccer travel to Baldwin Wallace for 1 p.m. contests in Berea, while the football squad hosts BW at 7 p.m. for what will be the Hall of Fame night inside Memorial Stadium, as 6 inductees will represent the 10th Otterbein Hall of Fame class being recognized at halftime. That's your Cardinal Sports Update. For all the latest news and notes, follow us on OtterBeinCardinals.com and on social media at Otterbein Sports.
Hey Cardinal fans, I'm women's track and field junior Sarah Bedell. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Cardinal Conversation podcast. Our second half segment is coming right up.
Back here on the Cardinal Conversation podcast, hanging out with first-year men's soccer coach Jason Griffiths, who has his team 12-2 overall and a perfect 6-0 in conference play. Alongside him is sophomore midfielder Eric Stucky. First of all, before we get into our second segment, I forgot to ask her in the first segment, who in the world let Juan Rivas grow that ball? and how is that a good idea?
I'll let Stucky take that.
I also live with him.
Okay.
And last year he had really long hair, and he's kind of a gross human being. So he said, I'm going to get a mullet, and I said, you shouldn't do that. But he did
Dared to be different anyways.
He did it anywaes, and he loves it.
That deserves a red card alone, I think, for that.
Yeah, I mean, every game he gets
gets razzed.
Chirped at. Yeah, he gets a lot of grief for that. So
well, we'll continue to give him grief on that, and I'll keep that in mind when we approach Cardi Awards time. And we'll see how that plays out. I want to play a little game with you guys now. It's a similar game to what I played with the women's soccer coach and Brandon and his defender Haley Guerra when they were here. I want to play person most likely to on your team. So I'm going to let both of you answer. I'm going to read off a couple different questions, and I want you guys to tell me who's the person most likely to do that. All right? So you guys don't have to agree. You guys can have your own opinions on this, and we're going to roll through them here. So who's going to be the person most likely to be rich after college?
You know, surprisingly, people will be surprised with this one, but I think Gavin.
Gavin? Why is that?
Engineering.
Oh, yeah, I'll also ask for a little brief explanation as to why you chose that player.
I mean, he asks a lot of dumb questions in practice, but I think that probably helps him in class.
Yeah.
He's an engineering major.
Okay.
Usually those people make a lot of money.
That pays a few bucks, yeah. What do you think,
I think he's a little intimidating too of his size, so I mean, going in for a job interview, I think he'd get the big job pretty easy.
What do you think, Stucky?
I'm going to have to say Eric Juarez.
Okay.
And I'm very regretful saying that, but he is brilliant. I think he's a bio major, and he cranks out great grades.
Yeah, he was in the Academic All-America nominee last year.
Yeah, common sense isn't there, but book sense is definitely there.
Who's the person most likely to give all their money to charity? That actually might be John Gill.
I think maybe Kohei. Just because he probably has no sense of money. He'll probably have, $100 in the bank and probably give 90 of it away.
I think that's a good ratio.
I think that's a good ratio, so I'll go with Kohei.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to go with either Blake Steenrod or Johnny Hennessy.
Okay.
Both very giving and nice guys.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that. Especially Blake. I can't believe he's a senior already.
Yeah.
Who's the person most likely to marry a celebrity? Stucky's pointing to himself automatically.
You go first, Stucky.
He already said. He said himself.
You picking yourself?
No, I can't do that.
Well, self-righteous.
You're pretty vain, so.
This is a tough one.
I think Powell.
Powell?
I think Powell could be on
Powell doesn't even like it when people talk to him.
Celebrity Love Island. I think Powell's going to be on one day. He's just going to end up marrying some rich supermodel, I think.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty good personality.
Some 6'2" Scandinavian model.
Yeah, his height might help him a little bit.
5'4", Pao Piang.
Yeah. I'm probably going to have to go with Kovac, Tristan Kovac.
Oh.
He's a talker, so
yeah,
he knows how to talk.
All right. Who's person most likely to fall asleep in class?
Oh, Zach Lewis for sure. It's a no-brainer.
What's he sleeping on the bus a bunch, or is that just?
He's asleep everywhere.
Yeah.
To sleep in study hall, sleep on the bus, sleep in class.
Everywhere. He's got to be awake to score goals in the 93rd minute. He's got to rest up to.
Yeah.
What do you think? You agreeing with him, Stucky?
I am agreeing with him on this one.
Gotcha. Zach Lewis, most likely to fall asleep in class. He's got a game-winning goal, beat 9th-ranked John Carroll. Maybe the only time he was awake all week. Who's most likely to punch a wall?
Well, I'm just going to have to go with Nate Norris.
What, did he already punch a wall or something?
In spring
Sounds like he already did.
In spring season, he, I think, he lost a game of FIFA and punched the couch and ended up hitting a wood piece in the couch and broke his wrist.
Yes.
So I'm going to have to go with Nate Norris on that one.
That's a good one. I like Nate. I'll go with Mac.
Mac?
Yeah. He's a pretty angry man.
Really?
Yeah, if you get on the wrong side of Mac.
I was going to say, he seems so quiet. Maybe those are the ones you got to be worried about, though.
Yeah, he's a silent assassin for sure.
Yeah. Who's most likely to be a stand-up comedian?
I think I'm going to have to go with Zach Lewis again on this one.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a pretty funny guy. always making jokes.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Kovac. He likes a good joke.
All right.
He does.
Person most likely to win the lottery. Some people play the lottery every day and never win. Some people play it a couple times, hit the Mega Millions. So
I'm going to go with Juarez on this one. Just because
he'd probably figure out some mathematical system to beat the...
He's just the luckiest kid. Watching him play soccer, he's the luckiest kid I've ever seen play soccer. The ball hit his knees 3 times, hit the defender in the face, and it'll drop back to his foot, and he'll score a goal. So.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. He runs into a lot of people, and he always seems to come out with the ball. So.
Yeah, they say luck is a residue of hard work, so
yeah,
maybe he's just...
He does work hard, but...
Better to be lucky than good. Last one, who's most likely to become president of the United States?
I think Brian Luckshire. I think he just has the look of a president.
Yeah.
It's pretty serious.
Political, looks good in a suit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Nick Snavs on this one.
All right. Oh, I could see that, yeah. Now that you say it, it just kind of seems a little obvious there that he could... here in the stadium press box with men's soccer coach Jason Griffiths and sophomore midfielder Eric Stucky. Just a reminder that our show today is brought to you by a handful of our corporate partners, Jets Pizza, Ohio Health, Roush Honda, BMI Credit Union, and MSA Sport. Jason, your first year as a coach on campus, obviously acclimating yourself with a lot of your peers here in the athletic department, trying to be my friend. My jury's still kind of out whether I want to hang out with you outside of work. Talk about the camaraderie on campus right now, though. You've kind of come in as a new face. Fall sports teams have obviously, from all angles, from all fall sports teams have had some success. Just talk about the vibe right now.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, in the office, everyone's asking about how the previous game went, and as we go further into the season, we're more successful. People are actually watching the games now, so it's. I think people are really taking an interest in what we're doing, and we're always taking an interest in what everyone else is doing too. So, like you said, all the full teams are doing really, really well, and it's just a great time to be around the campus, and especially be around the office when people are buzzing around and excited about the next week.
Yeah, Stucky, what's it like for you? Just with your peers, and like I said, it's easy to get so fixated on what you're doing, and we're all so busy with what we have going on. But what's it like? Getting out watching some of your other peers, or and having them come to your matches and fight.
Yeah, like we love. We go to every home game for the girls soccer team, and we try and make every volleyball home game, and we love supporting our friends, and it's great to see everybody's doing really well, and it's good to see people coming to our games, just like John Carroll.
That was an inspiring crowd the other night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's really nice playing in front of a crowd that's supporting you and hyping you up as you're not having maybe the game's not going the right way, and they're helping you out and helping you finish the game.
Going forward, thoughts on Friday night against Baldwin Wallace? I know the mentality. Zach Lewis said in his post-game interview the other night, next game, baby. just one game at a time. Obviously, it's no secret that if you win this one, you're gonna clinch the OAC regular season. I know that's not on your minds. It's just getting the result. Thoughts going into Friday night? Should be another fun crowd under the lights.
Yeah, that's kind of the message all season. Has been one game at a time. Some of the guys have gone excited as the conference season's gone along, and they try and think a little further ahead. But for us, it's just keeping the guys on an even keel, and really is just taking that one game at a time. And BW are a really good team. They've scored a lot of goals. They've got a couple of really special players. But I think our guys are on a high right now. We're really confident. We're at home. We're unbeaten at home. We want to win that conference, and we want to host a tournament game here. So for us, it's about what we do, and kind of trying to stop a couple of special players that they have, and just again taking it one game at a time.
Mm-hmm. Stucky, how about you? Just kind of a quick preview on Baldwin Wallace. Obviously, they got the OAC leading scorer in Danny Ruppel that can cause some problems. Thoughts on limiting them?
Just playing our game, honestly. our game plan doesn't change too much from game to game. We dictate what we can do, and as you can see from our goals against this game, our defending has been outstanding. Having our last home game means a lot.
I was going to say, senior night, you got 9 kids are going to be recognized. What have those guys kind of meant?
All those guys mean a lot to the team, and it's going to be a very special night. It shouldn't be our last home game either, so hopefully we're hosting the whole tournament. But yeah, one game at a time. Yeah.
Now, Jason, before we get going here, I know the women's soccer program has a weird thing where they're doing a bunch of British accents right now, and they said that they've actually asked you to do an American accent a couple times. I need to hear you say something in American right now. Talk to me and see how you compare to their British accents.
You're gonna have to give me something to say, but I warn you now, it's a Kentucky Southern accent.
Oh man!
Because I went to school UK.
Yeah,
so.
Jason, of course, All-American at the University of Kentucky. So maybe it's a little different. Not at all. Oh wait, you weren't an All-American.
I'll
Never
take
mind.
that.
Sorry. Maybe I assumed because you were you were drafted in the MLS, so you were an All-American. So that's shame on me, I guess. Why don't you say, "Hey Adam, hand me that water bottle over there."
Hey Adam, hand me that water bottle over there.
Not terrible. Not terrible. I could definitely see the little Kentucky flavor in that. How about one more? How about see you on Friday night?
See you on Friday night.
That is Southern.
That's good. That is beyond Southern there. All right, well, Eric Stucky and Jason Griffiths, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Best of luck going forward this season, and hopefully we'll talk to you again.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Just a reminder that you can catch all podcast shows on Twitter at Otterbein Sports or Otterbein Athletics YouTube channel. Catch you next time.